Welcome to the Fear Fiction Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goof Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man-horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
The Last of Us is an unlicensed Walking Dead game. Prove me wrong.
I'm not going to be able to participate in this discussion because I have not played The Last of Us.
Oh, you haven't played it on moral grounds because you don't support lesbianism. I got it. Okay.
Sure.
Lesbianism. The game has literal man-on-man butt fucking.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, we know he supports that. I think it's the lesbianism.
I support man-on-man butt fucking in video games. It's a nice change of pace.
Let me tell you, I know a lot of lesbians, and they're all like, you know what I love? Being an entirely homosexual lesbian? Men's hairy buttholes.
The Last of Us 2, Men's Harry's Buttholes. That's the name of that's the subtitle.
Spoilers for anyone who doesn't know. Very early into the game, the main character from the last one, Joel, he dies, and then you start playing as a walking hairy butthole.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a swerve.
Okay, so speaking as someone who has not played it and has not spoken with anyone about it, my initial impression that is this franchise is zombie misery porn that people love to play.
Walking Dead, yeah.
Wait, no, okay. So the first game is not quite like that. There are punctuated misery parts, but it's just like any
like the punctuator misery parts.
It has a nice structure to it of rising action, but it's very 5-act structured, where you have like nice little walking sections and then like a bit of action. There are like 2 or 3 misery parts to it.
Okay.
And it's very well structured. Walking Dead was kind of like didn't have a plan from the get-go, I would say. Walking Dead's first season and like the first not the first issue, but like the first, I don't know what you would call it, because it was like the first volume of the graphic novel, but it kind of like wraps everything up, is perfectly fine because it sets up all these arcs amidst a zombie outbreak and then wraps them up perfectly fine. And they should just never have gone on beyond that, but then they just kept doing it. Boomers were just like, boomers. Like there's a zombie story? And like everyone who got done with zombies 15 years before that is just like, oh, we're still doing zombies?
And I read that first volume, like well after everything, like zombies were passé, and I read it and went, you know what? This is very solid. I love these characters were fleshed out. Everything kind of came to a nice conclusion. Awesome. And they said, oh yeah, there's like 6 more volumes. Fuck no. No, I'm good. I'm good. Fuck it.
Well, I do have a question for you guys. What are the zombies in Walking Dead called?
Walkers.
Yeah.
What are the zombies in Last of Us called?
Clickers.
What other zombie franchise do you know of that calls the zombies something-ers at the end? Nothing, right? I think Shaun of the Dead might have called them tossers at one point, but that's not official.
No, that's not. That's not uniquely only to the zombies either. So
you see what I'm saying, though? You know?
No. What about Left 4 Dead? Infectors.
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 The Infectors is like an awesome name for a 1980s cartoon show or something. Like the
Infectors is what would happen if Stephen King wrote a zombie story.
Yes. What would it be? Like a 500-page novel where a group of children who are psychic fight zombies, and the zombies are all the old people in the town. Fight zombies
and do coke.
A group of children in Maine who have been bullied into having psychic powers.
Mm-hmm. What's the matter? You're not psychic, huh? You're not psychic.
Huh? And then it's just Stranger Things. Okay.
But yeah, and all the old people of the town are zombies, but no one acknowledges it. Only the kids get it, you know. So
yeah,
that would make sense.
Wait, are all our parents zombies?
You guys, this happened and I didn't notice.
So we're reading Infecteders today.
we're reading the Langolierders.
We're reading the Tommy Knockerers. The Shininger?
The Sireners. The Sirens, they are getting closer.
No.
Already.
Are they? Yeah, already. It's already happening. The Sirens, are they getting closer? Question mark, parentheses, new to Reddit, close parentheses, open parentheses, OP, close.
Where are we reading this from?
Subreddit,
Iconpasta subreddit, which we technically own.
r/Iconpasta. For anybody wondering, r/Iconpasta is the place to post all your Iconpasta stuff away from r/Creepypasta. Draw from that anything you will. Okay, anyway.
And this is by
Al Grayher. I'll gray her?
I'll gray her.
I'll gray her.
I'll jazeer her.
I'll gray her. I barely know her.
I'll kite her.
I'll grade her. I barely know her, but I'd say about a B.
Yeah. So we're gonna rip into this poor person who just wrote an Iconpasta about Sirenhead, and we're gonna be complete assholes.
Whoa!
I'm gonna say
How do
this
we know
right
it's Sirenhead?
Because it's just the sirens, they're getting closer. Or are they getting closer? You doing
and
it to me now?
sirens is capitalized, by the way. It's capital S.
What if it's multiple siren heads?
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Where are you getting this idea that it's a siren head?
It's on Iconpasta and it says the sirens.
Could it not be siren feet?
What if it's multiple siren heads and they're all in a bukkake on bukkake.com?
What if they're siren elbows?
What if Pearl Harbor, the attack on Pearl Harbor, caused one air raid siren to gain sentience and become really into bukkake?
Look, guys, this doesn't make any sense. They haven't heard the plug for this episode yet.
Yeah.
This makes
Blame Abysmii. Hashtag blame Abysmii.
Look, Pearl Harbor was an inside job. I'm going to say...
Bush did Pearl Harbor?
So technically, there was...
Technically, he did.
There was, like... There's this rule of war where if you're going to, like, initiate attacks against a country, you have to, like, kind of, like, let them know as, like, a declaration of war. This is old-timey thinking. And a lot of people said, well, Japan never did that, but they did. It's just there was a fuck-up with the code, the decoding of the message. And so it was, like, this, a thing that people don't like to talk about in American history.
That message was in Japanese. What the hell are we supposed to make out of it?
Something about Godzilla? I don't know.
They hire some guy who's just like, oh, yeah, I totally speak Japanese. And then he gets the job, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Shit. The fuck are these squiggles?
What does this message say?
They're saying we're all copacetic, guys.
Yeah. Happy birthday, America. It's April. I don't know. I guess they...
I'm gonna make a horrible generalization here about the Iconpasta subreddit.
What?
Huh? What? I'm gonna assume everybody on here is 12, and...
I thought you were gonna say Japanese.
No. I'm gonna assume that everyone here is young and newer authors, and they're making OCs, and there's nothing wrong with that. We here on Fearfic do not typically read this type of stuff. We don't enjoy it very often. So please take everything we say with a grain of salt and know that we're not the target audience, and we know that, and we're going to have fun with it, but don't take this personally. Because it's not intended to be personal.
We could be, but these paragraphs are big, so I'm curious to see how this works out. Let's actually get into it.
Yeah.
It was late fall one year when myself and 3 of my close friends had decided to take an impromptu trip down to Texas.
All right, this is not a 12-year-old, because we have the word impromptu.
There's some intelligent 12-year-olds out there.
No, I was using the word impromptu at 12.
Yeah, but you were like, I'm going to impromptu your mother on Xbox and shit. That's what you were doing.
Implying I was playing on Xbox.
Well, Xbox? Wait, how long ago was that?
Yes. Abysmii. Yes, Abysmii. The trip itself wasn't anything special. Just a reason for us to all get together again and now have a little road trip. Back in the day, probably in our early 20s, it was something we did fairly often. Now in our early 30s and burdened with responsibility, the chances of seeing each other are slim and far apart. Going on the trip was myself, my younger brother John, and 2 of our good friends, Romero and Trev, who might as well be family. We tried getting a fifth friend to come, but he was always says no to these sorts of things. Turns out he was the right call. Turns out that he was the right call, and that's why we put on the ring, and that's why we're gay married.
Yeah.
We
Last of Us 2'd each other.
Do you take this walking hairy butthole to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Is his name Harry Beehole?
Harry Beehole.
I don't have any problems reading this, and this is all worthwhile setup. I would be interested to read more if I just found this in the wild.
Yeah.
But this next paragraph is pretty chunky.
That's all right.
Load it coming.
Also, we know this is a Siren-head story because it mentions the name Trevor Henderson.
Oh. And Romero, Dawn of the Dead, Walking Dead, Last of Us 2.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin
the day
Phoenix.
For... Sorry.
The walking phoenixes are here.
The day for us to set out had come and gone. Before I knew it, we were on the road. Most of day one of our 2-day drive had gone smoothly. We had the usual debates on politics and religion. We reminisced about old times, and a couple of us even decided to smoke a little green. Some things hadn't changed, I suppose, but we at least didn't let them drive this time. It was around 5 p.m. when we first hit traffic, and from where I sat in the front passenger seat, I could tell it went on for miles. Damn it, where the hell did this come from? John said from the back seat.
It was Sirenhead, right in front of us.
We ran into him with our car. Trev began to answer with his expert opinion. The thing you need to know about Trev is he's an expert on everything, or so he'd want you to believe. Yeah, there's always one of those in the friend group.
Trevor
It doesn't
Henderson.
matter. It won't change the fact we're stuck, I told the group, while also cutting Trev off in mid-lecture. I wanted to hear Trev's lecture.
I like the idea that Trevor Henderson acts like he knows everything about Sirenhead. What a joke.
Right, God. A fact that caused us all to be a little agitated. We had specifically taken the back roads to avoid this sort of thing. It was strange to see, and from the looks on everyone's face, it was a shared sentiment. That's when I first heard it. When we all first heard it. The sound of dropping water on the car roof. It started off with a few pings and drips here and there, but it wasn't long before... But it wasn't long before, but whatever. But wasn't long before the sky above opened up. Well, hey, at least it's raining now, right? Romero said with a dumb smile on his face. He was always upbeat and joyful, even when he's trying to get under your skin. Ignoring him, I continued looking up at the increasingly dark sky. I couldn't help feeling something was off as I nestled into my seat to sleep.
Romero wrapped his arms around me. Don't worry, I've got you, he says. I exposed my hairy butthole, and... Now we got a real big paragraph. You thought your paragraph was big. Check out my big, meaty, thick paragraph as I wheeled it around and slapped you in the forehead with it. It must have been several hours when I finally woke to the sound of continuous rain. Is that a band name? Like an 80s new wave band name? What do you think?
There's continuous drips on the hood of the car, like a veritable bukkake.com of rain.
God damn it. I remember thinking it was kind of peaceful. That all changed when I finally decided to open my eyes, and I noticed how dark it had gotten. Giant big meaty cocks dangling from the sky above. Nothing outside the car was visible. Other lights from the car... I think it's supposed to be other than... Other lights from the cars in front of us, which led in a line both in front and behind that eventually disappeared into the horizon. It was a real shame, I thought. I've always enjoyed the scenery of Texas back roads. Abysmii, can you confirm or deny?
No. Maybe certain parts of northern Texas, but no.
You ever give a girl the Texas back road?
Oh, God. I don't want to know what that involves. A genuine leather condom. It was during that thought when I began to hear some noise breaking through that of the rain. A low whine or howl. It was faint, but very noticeable even with the never-ending rain. Is that, a siren? I whispered to myself. Shush, keep listening, Romero snapped quickly at me while keeping his voice low and his arms around me. Doesn't say that.
Palms sweaty.
Yeah. At the time,
arms around me. Exposing hairy buttholes.
Welcome to my butt. I'll show you everything. All right. At the time, I hadn't even realized he was awake, and was a bit startled by the sudden response. When I turned to look at him, he was looking straight ahead, his eyes not focused on anything particular, as they searched for something in the dark. It's been coming and going for about an hour now, just like me. This is the worst road trip ever. I keep coming and going. I almost couldn't hear it at first, Romero added. I looked at him puzzled for a moment before checking to see who else was awake. 2 words.
Yeah.
Trev and John were not awake. Trevor and John were fast asleep in the back, with John's head slumped over on Trev's shoulder. Goofs was the only thought that came to mind. Is goofs a slur?
You fucking goofs.
Yeah, we got these guys out here. They're a little goofy, if you know what I mean.
I ain't going to no goof bar, I tell you what.
Maxie! Maxie came out. He's a goof.
He's a lumbersexual. He ain't no son of mine.
In this family, we are goofs.
The stupid fucking beard.
I like to think that the term goof refers to an unkempt gay man.
Oh, are we inventing a slur?
Oh my god.
Yes! Absolutely.
Okay.
You just get these like really bare like muscle men, and then you get like the tan twinkie guys, and then they're just like, ew, I don't want nothing to do with that fucking goof over there.
I don't know if any of us are part of LGBT, but we offer it up.
I'm a male lesbian.
Okay.
Does LGBTQ plus include an H for heterosexual?
No.
Does it? No?
I don't think so. That's the point.
Well, fuck.
We offer it up for your consideration. You can have that one.
So, you've got the twink, you've got the muscle man, you got all these guys at the bar, and then you've got the goof at the end of the bar who's like, hey, guys, what are we doing? Fucking or... I mean, I got a hairy butthole over here, you know? We all got buttholes, you know?
No, a goof is just kind of like a normal hetero-looking beta guy.
Oh.
Well, wouldn't that be... Oh, no, that's not metrosexual. That's something else.
No, metrosexual is just your, like, looking, putting on the facade of a gay man and then not being gay.
Okay.
Interesting. It's the opposite of a metrosexual. It's a...
So what you're
we have a term for it.
What you're saying is I could be mistaken for a goof by pretty much anyone out on the street. Okay.
Well, that's always been the case.
That's always been the case, Abysmii.
Oh, I know.
This is entirely problematic.
Goofs was the only thought that came to mind. Have you been awake this whole whoosh? Before I had a chance to finish my sentence, 4 squad cars had blown by us driving up the opposite side of the road, and they were all blowing each other inside the cars. Bunch of goofs, I thought.
They stopped, pulled us over, and
goofs!
Shine their flashlight in here. You goofs having a soup kitchen in here.
A soup kitchen?
Yeah, a soup kitchen. Have you never heard of that?
No.
A soup kitchen is when a bunch of homeless men have an orgy inside a car.
Oh, I see. Should be a poop kitchen. A quick
Go
thought.
to soupkitchen.com.
Can we get that domain too?
Go to soupkitchen.org. Probably an actual organization that provides soup kitchens. Donate to them today.
We're building so much tension for people to get to the plug today.
Yeah. And it's not going to be worth it. A quick thought flashed across my mind. Had we seen any cars coming down the opposite side? The thought didn't last long as myself and Romero goofed out with each other. Now watched as the police car's lights slowly disappeared further up. We both paused a moment trying to peer through the windows to see if anyone else was going to pass by, but nothing did. What the hell is going on, guys? Me and Romero both turned to see John, now wide awake, with a half-annoyed look on his face. He had a stroke. Part of him was annoyed, part of him was very peaceful and placid. I knew my brother well enough to know, it's his brother, that he was more concerned now than annoyed, and was attempting to hide it. Trev, of course, could sleep through anything, and now was no exception to that. He slept through getting goofed on several occasions. Romero looked
at... He just wakes up. Oh, what's all this Chris? Oh, did you guys goof on my face?
Did you guys bukkake me while I was sleeping again?
Yeah, we were goofing off.
Romero looked at John and shrugged. Maybe someone has a flat tire, he added. John sat back unamused and lit up a cigarette. He didn't smoke it or anything. He was visibly uncomfortable. He just started burning people with the cigarette because he was so mad.
He lit a cigarette and then put it out and decided to light it again and then put it out and then walked around very, very uncomfortably.
Oof.
The situation where I'm getting all of these short paragraphs and Slimebeast is getting fooked. With
Oh my god! It's so long.
So I gotta say though, I'm not entirely uninterested in what's going on.
No.
Like we're goofing off, but this is pretty engaging writing. I just really these paragraphs do need worked on to be more readable.
I like that we have a mystery here of why are we stuck in traffic? We took the back roads because I on one of my past road trips, I also took back roads to try to get down south, and a fucking landslide happened and fucking shut down that back road for hours. So it does happen. You're like, dude, I purposefully planned out this trip meticulously to not have this happen. God damn it. So this is all realistic. It has a small mystery that actually is engaging, so I do appreciate that.
And after that road trip, Abysmii wrote his famous creepypasta, Landslide Head.
So I do have to agree that there is a lot of believability to this. The only thing that I think is kind of cringe nene baby is we debated politics and religion. That just kind of sounds like a dumb thing. That just sounds dumb to say, you know?
It sounds like a road trip taking place in like a Bare Naked Lady song or something.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so what it is.
Politics and religion down the road today.
I don't know. I've been on many a road trip and none of them ever devolved into that. Like, because you don't want to. It's not like you're going over to a friend's house and you're going to debate and you're going to go home the next day. You're stuck with those people for a long time. So that just like there's almost this innate aversion to it of no, let's not go there just for the sake of the trip.
Could you imagine you go on a road trip with 4 people you think you know pretty well? You get, several miles out. There's no going back now.
You all take out MAGA hats?
Yeah. You're far out there and one person just, kind of clears his throat. There's silence. Nobody's been talking. And he just goes, so, Trump, anointed by God to be president. You're like, oh,
Divine right absolutism needs to make a return.
And then everyone else in the car besides you is just like, why are you stating the obvious? What, like, we're not discussing this. And then they all take out the MAGA hats, and then you go into like a Whole Foods, like, hey guys, let's pop into Whole Foods and get some, snackies or something. It's a long road trip, and you're just like, I'd rather not go in right now, guys.
I'm okay. Oh, I'll wait.
They're just all outside the car adjusting their hats. What's wrong? It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day out. We got our hats on to keep the sun out of our eyes. We have extras in the trunk,
Just a trunk
full
of MAGA hats.
500 extras in the trunk.
No, I get hat hair, and I just don't.
I don't want that in my life.
Opens up backpack, looks into backpack, sees a black baseball cap with raised fist embroidered on front, pulls his backpack.
We sat there for some time in the dark, rain and in silence. As strange as everything had been up to that point, it was, in all accounts, pretty mild, if not boring, being stuck in traffic. I wouldn't say that things were strange. That's pretty normal roadblock to have for literal roadblock to have for a trip.
Mm-hmm.
However, that changed when the sound came back. God, it was so much clearer this time. That's when I realized something. I could see in Romero's face he had also realized it as well. The howling siren was in fact getting louder, but getting closer to, why does that say 2/3?
Now,
I don't know.
I don't know. 2/3 closer, maybe? Here's the thing.
Approximately 2/3 closer than it was before.
Yeah, maybe it's a very detailed story. It's like an SCP article. Yeah. But the thing is, if you just saw police whizzing past, wouldn't you think maybe the siren happening again was just like another police vehicle coming up or something? Like
it's
maybe
weird
a really
big
police vehicle.
It's weird that wasn't pointed out in dialogue, or at least like internal dialogue of, hey, that must have been the sirens. Oh, wait, we're hearing them again. What's going on?
Sirens are happening, and there are cop cars, and there's a bunch of traffic. Somebody probably got yeeted out of their car.
Yeah, so there's a horrible spill and something, who knows?
And anyone else hard at the prospect of seeing a dead person?
What if that's where this goes?
Me?
What if it's a debate about Sirenhead?
Oh, dude, that would be good. But I would say if it didn't have that little line about like, oh, it was pretty strange when it wasn't, I would say that the tension has been building pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
What if somebody was yeeted out their windshield and flew into another like emergency vehicle, and the head is just wrapped around a siren? They're like a literal ash can siren head.
What if instead there was a wreck, and then it's like, okay, 911, someone's been killed. All right, guys, call in Sirenhead. We need to let everyone know that there's been an issue. And he just shows up and stands there with takes out a cell phone and is just looking at it, blaring sirens.
So, do you think that somebody has to have done this, taken the Sirenhead video that's like memed out of its own ass, and just taken out the audio and just put in Patrick Starr going, wee woo, wee woo, wee
yeah,
woo.
I've seen it.
You've seen it? Fuck.
Yep. Yep.
Everything's been done. Here's a nice paragraph for you, Abysmii. Oh, fuck, and then mine is
not as good as yours coming up.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm not reading all that. We gotta break it up at some point.
No one had said a word for some time. We all just sat in silence listening to the strange sirens as they would come and go, getting closer and closer each time. If they're coming and going, how are they getting closer?
We just sat in silence, each of us thinking that the other was a goof.
Hello, silence, my old friend.
Coming and going kind of sound like it does have like that. I think
fair enough. Yeah. During which we watched as people in front of us would leave their cars and look towards the skies, as if searching for something in the pitch-black night. It's hard to understand what true darkness is until you're in the country. No cities, no light post. Nothing but blinding dark.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute Sirenhead. Hey, did y'all see that? John shouted while pointing straight ahead. Romero tried to find what he was talking about. I don't see anything, Maxie, he told John. Nope. No, look, man, he said, still pointing. The cars in front, their brake lights on, turning off. I think they mean are turning off? Or I don't know.
Their brake lights are turning on and off rapidly. Oh, wait, they're blinkers. Never mind.
Off, on, off, on, off, on. John, stop. Myself
trying to read Morse code is just like, that's just a blinker, you idiot.
John, shut the fuck up.
No, it's Morse code. Hang on. I learned how to read this. My dad was in the military. Okay, it says ham, boat, arm, up, zigzag, woggle, duck.
I forget if it was John who was the know-it-all, but that would be a nice thing, like a little touch there of, it's Morse code. No, you're stupid and you think you know everything. Myself and Romero both looked ahead for a long moment, intently watching the light from cars furthest up the line, the constant falling water and the somewhat reflective glow from the lights almost putting us in a trance. That's a nice detail there, actually, because that definitely does happen. If you're locked in traffic and it's dark and like you kind of have this vignette around your vision and all you can see is lights. Suddenly one of the cars just vanished. There, see? John pronounced. Do you think they're finally moving? I asked in return. What else could it be? Romero. I've seen Romero spelled 3 different ways. It's Romero, Romeo, and Ramero now. Romero added. John didn't seem convinced by this and kept watching. It was around this time the siren was back. It was close this time, very close, but not where I expected. The siren wasn't coming up from up the road.
It was coming out of my hairy butthole.
I farted and it was a siren. In the darkness where we couldn't see. We should turn around, guys. I'm not feeling this trip anymore, John interjected. I think we're past the point of no return. Turning around, I pointed out to my brother the long line of cars behind us. Nowhere to turn around unless we go through the field, Romero commented lightheartedly. Speaking of the field, I need to take a leak. All 3 of us jumped slightly at the sudden response from Trev. Oh, okay. We all just looked at him a moment, realizing he had been sleeping and had no idea how our situation was deteriorating. I think it's best if you stay in the car for now, Trev, I told him. Ignoring me, he popped open his passenger door and disappeared into the darkness and rain.
I think you're misreading that. It says, ignoring me, he pooped out the passenger door.
Fine.
The dude never listens, man, Romero added while shaking his head. In that moment, John raised his finger and pointed straight ahead.
He's flipping off Sirenhead. Alright, so I'll read this till I get tired. This is a big fucking paragraph. He didn't say a word this time. DP, take it. No. He didn't say a word this time. But his eyes were wide, opened, and unblinking. Romero and I both followed his finger to where it was pointing. Follow the finger. That's when we saw it, or saw something for that matter. A huge shape came down from the sky. But the darkness and rain skewed its true form. The dark mass plunged straight down on top of a car, then receded back up. So maybe we're getting 4,000-foot tall Sirenhead, like he sort of has boarded to, in one very quick and violent motion, leaving no trace of anything behind it. We turned and looked at each other, hoping maybe one of us would have the answer. Thud! The car was suddenly rocked, breaking us from our stupor. Quickly, we turned to see that Trev had slammed into the car in a panic. Oh, so it's rocked from him slamming the door.
Mm-hmm.
He was drenched from head to toe in his own urine. No, in water. We could see him mouthing something and pointing toward the sky as he struggled to get in, but we couldn't make out what he was saying.
I peed on myself. Help.
I peed on myself! I peed on myself!
Bring a towel.
He's just freaking out. He's just manic over it.
His dick is hanging out of his pants. He's looking down at it. I'm not afraid of you anymore! The doors were unlocked, and Trev finally managed to get inside, slamming it behind him. We continued to stare at him in silence, waiting for an explanation as he caught his breath. He finally raised his head to look at us. Something reached down and grabbed my dick, grabbed a car, man. I could see it when the lightning flashed. See, now this, again, if we didn't know this was about Sirenhead, or we didn't gather it was, very interesting premise. Something is just reaching down from the darkness and picking up cars.
Yeah.
Well, would we have read this if it didn't allude to Sirenhead?
If the title said, I went on a really long road trip with 4 friends, and while we were there, something picked up our cars in the darkness, and it was posted on No Sleep, I think we would read it.
No, we wouldn't.
All right.
We don't want to read anything on No Sleep.
Yeah. Fucking No Sleep. More like, yes, creeps. I could see
more like stay awake.
Yeah. r/stay awake, the subreddit for actual quality. That's funny because it's not even true. It's like the opposite. It's like we don't want to have strict quality standards. So it's like...
just to give you an example, the latest No Sleep post is, my grandmother died and passed down her cabin to my brother and me. Our uncle doesn't seem like himself anymore. What the fuck does that mean?
Our uncle has become a cabin.
We live inside our uncle. Our uncle.
We truly do live in a society.
Mm-hmm. Uncle Cabin. Something reached down and grabbed the car, man. I could see it when the lightning flashed. His head fell back into his hands. Oh no, it came off. Not waiting for our response. He just continued muttering to himself. The 3 of us looked amongst each other again for a brief moment, unsure of what to say or do, when the arm came down again, now grabbing a car no more than 4 lengths in front of us. So there's an obvious problem with this.
What's that?
Every car ahead of them has seen this happen to cars at least, or at most 4 lengths ahead of them because they're seeing it.
Yeah.
So wouldn't a bunch of people all the way down the line as this is happening be getting out of their cars and running away and shit like that?
Yeah, they would be turning around and just going backwards. The
people 3 cars ahead of them right now should at least be getting the fuck out of there, because if the people behind them saw it, they saw it.
Yeah.
You know? Alright, anyway, unless they're in on it. Maybe it's an inside job.
Sirenhead was an inside job.
Oh, here we go. I see something coming up here. The siren blared overhead, but this time it was more violent and aggressive. It sounded like Richard Spencer. Like a predator that eyed its prey. People began fleeing from their cars. There we go. They began just now. Everybody else up the line didn't, for some reason. As another giant arm slammed down into a car even closer than the last. More sirens begin to call out, present tense, from further away, only to be met with the sirens above us calling back. It is Sirenheads!
Oh no. Oh no.
They're like cicadas. By the way, have you ever noticed that crickets are like motion detectors that tell you when there's no motion?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Christ, we need to get out of here now, John shouts from the back, still in present tense. Romero doesn't think twice when he turns the car and drives into the field next to the road. Lightning began to strike, back in past tense, illuminating the sky in quick succession. Alright, that's where I'm going to drop out. TP, you can take the rest of this.
You read basically like 3 paragraphs worth, and I'm about to read 3 paragraphs worth.
Mm-hmm.
These do not need to be these giant things. Like a paragraph should denote an idea, like an action happening. So like
Or a series of actions related to the same like central point.
So each paragraph is a siren head.
There is a paragraph of talking about an arm coming down and reaching into another car. And then related to that is the lightning noticing that, and then the people running away. That's a concept that can all be one paragraph, and then you move on, you know?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Anyway.
If you're not sure, here's the thing. If you're not sure when you're writing about whether or not to break something into a paragraph, just look at how long it takes to read what you've already written and break into a new paragraph and just err on the side of making it easier for people to read. People will forgive you for that rather than a big chunk, you know?
Yeah, no, like, you don't complain about small paragraphs too much. They're just, yeah. Anyway, I do think that the pacing and the tension in the story has overall... did it surprise you guys? Because it's surprising me a little bit, and I didn't go in with low expectations.
This, aside from the typos, this is a very good story.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So far, yeah.
We cannot detract points for this, or whatever the right term would be. We can't deduct points from this for being about Sirenhead just because of that. So this is actually written well. It has good tension. It has good mental imagery.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder about people only starting to run from their cars at that point, but you know, whatever.
There's plenty of stuff to critique, and we've been critiquing it. I think the harder goal is to create tension, and I think it's doing it though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Myself, John, and Trev continued watching the chaos behind unfold. Look at the size of that thing. Ka-thunk. Yep, I know. Trev exclaimed, what's more alarming was how many we could see. I thought to myself, 7, 13.
Wow. So the title is actually Sirens. Sirens. Multiple siren heads.
7, 13, 20. Every strike of lightning revealed more all around us, imprisoning me. All that I see, siren heads.
I think I'll take this paragraph back at this point. Okay, I was really scared when I looked at number 15.
The last thing you want are multiple siren heads.
Siren head foot lettuce. The last thing you want when you go to Burger King is for the speaker to blow out your eyeballs.
God damn it.
Hey, yeah, I'd like a Whopper Junior.
Pretty much.
The person on the other side just thinks that they're just talking to you.
There's an SCP for you.
Yeah.
Their height was immeasurable due to us being Americans and just not using the metric system.
Yeah.
Immeasurable due to the low-hanging clouds masking their heads. That's great imagery.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Romero began shouting, and we come to a sudden stop in the cornfield, tents changing again. The four of us are thrown about the car, only suffering minor bumps and cuts. What the hell, man? John shouts from the back while rubbing his neck. Romero ignores him and quickly turns off the car and all its lights. He holds a finger up to his lips and points up with the other. One is right above us, Romero whispers. We all exchange a concerned look. A moment passes that felt like it stretched on unnaturally long like this paragraph. The lightning had stopped and the siren began to fade. Terrified to make even the slightest noise, we sat motionless in the field, half a mile from the road. These big paragraphs are making it harder to interrupt the story with bullshit. We never have this problem. We never have problems interrupting each other.
The siren head that has found our main characters.
He's got a giant black doorknob.
He's outstanding in his field. There we go.
Oh
my god.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The sound of rain filled the pitch-black night, darkness imprisoning us. John quietly began to direct our attention back towards the road. What am I looking for? It's too dark to see, Trev whispered. John looked back towards myself and Romero. Fear coated his face. That wasn't the only... Yep.
Bukake of fear.
Too easy.
A boo-kake.
check out fearbukake.com.
Mm-hmm.
We understood instantly, well, what should we invest in? Fearbukake.com? Bukake.com?
Bukake. I like
Spookake. Spookaki.
I like Bukake.
Okay.
Bukake is pretty strong.
Yeah.
You could just get a bunch of like Halloween masks and put it on the dudes.
Mm-hmm. You have like 5 people around one person, and they all just put a series of Halloween masks on their face, layer by layer.
Yeah, how does this work? Do all the men wear different Halloween masks? Or do you put a Halloween mask on, finish on the Halloween mask, and then switch out masks, and each mask just gets one load?
What if it's just a looping gif of Peter Venkman getting slimed?
Oh,
Good.
That's cheaper than what we're proposing.
True.
We understood instantly why this was. There aren't any car lights. I said to no one in particular, not knowing what to do. The 4 of us slumped back into our seats. The rain was persistent and continued throughout the night. The sirens were gone, and the darkness was now more suffocating than ever before. Outside our windows, we could barely see all the tall grass surrounding us. You think there are Pokemon out there? Yeah, Ratatats and Metapods.
What if the Sirenheads? Oh, sorry. What if the Sirenheads out in the grass? Their heads are just playing. Yeah,
I totally didn't just make that joke.
Oh.
Well, he restructured it in an interesting way.
No, he explained the joke, and that's just.
Pardon me.
Was the joke that you were just doing the battle theme? And
the implication is that the Sirenheads are making the song.
I didn't get that.
What if they're playing the Lavender Town theme? How about that?
What if they're going to find Forrester?
What if they're on the road to Viridian City?
In Poland.
What if the Sirenheads are just up there going, Ratatat, Beedrill? That's all I know.
Ratatat, Beedrill,
Pikachu, Meowth, Team Rocket, Misty.
Nurse Joy, Officer Jetty, other women I'd like to fuck.
Ash's mom, 50-50, gotta get all 50. I don't know. How does it go?
50-50, gotta get all 50.
I like the idea of, like, Pokemon. You hit 50, you're done.
Fuck it, game's over.
Missing no Garurumon.
There's only you can have a third, and that's it.
Cigarettes, hot pie.
Student at IRS.
Injuries, eye pain.
Blue Jays.
Oh, fuck.
Popsicle painting, hand sanitizer.
Could we name this episode 50-50? Gotta catch all 50? God damn it.
Ooh. Atari, window wash. What?
Soda jug. Group on Twitter.
Camels, giraffes. No, that's just animals. What? That's just normal.
Collecting things is what we do. Collecting things and get them too.
Yeah. Whew.
And you can even get Mew. Where were we at?
You're outside our windows.
I'm outside our windows?
Yeah.
Yes, all the time.
Outside our windows, we could barely see the tall grass surrounding us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why.
Oh, yeah, the whole reason for the Poke Rap, yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Hey, welcome back to the story after a 2-minute dumb bit. Do you think they left? I asked John Trev and Romero. I don't know why we keep having to, like, reinstate who is in the gang.
It's me, Sora, Donald, and Goofy.
Sora, Donald, Goofy, and all the other Organization 13 members.
I like the idea of the Poke Rap ending with the guy going, Pikachu, and all the others.
I get paid by the hour.
There's one that has a duck. I don't know his name, but he's a duck.
I spilled my coffee on the script. Oh my god. What am I going to do?
This is my only copy.
Yeah.
It's just a Christian pastor trying to, like, redo the Pokemon rap but make it Christian friendly, and like he just doesn't know anything about Pokemon.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Jesus, Noah, Mary Magdalene, other Mary.
Yeah. Other Mary. There's Mary Magdalene, and then there's the other Mary who's less important.
Look, it's not a very good one.
God damn it.
Oh my god, did you see the new Pokemon game? Yeah, I'm excited that Mary gets a Mega Evolution. Yeah, Mega Mary.
Mega Mary Magdalene.
Noah, Lazarus, Judas.
You gotta get the Magdalene Mega Stone to evolve Mega Magdalene. Oh,
Pontius Pilate has evolved with the blood of Christ on his hands. What? Pontius Pilate is evolving? Pontius Jet Pilot.
He evolved. Jesus evolving water into wine. God damn it. Okay, we're done. This is so stupid.
Would Jesus be a water type?
He'd be dragon or fairy. I don't know.
Would Jesus' original form, like when he's a starter Pokemon, would he be like Squirt Mata? Shoots water out of his palms.
God damn it.
Jutai. John, Trev, and Romero. Again, I don't know if we have to keep saying the whole gang's name. Shared unsure glances with each other. Why can't you just say we all shared unsure glances at each other? You know what I mean?
And also, don't say it so many times because you said it like maybe 3 or 4 times in the story. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, John, Trev, and Romero shared unsure glances at each other. John, Trev, and Romero, right as Trev began to speak, a series of lightning strikes lit up the sky around us. With skies wide open, we instantly looked outside, hoping to maybe see that the danger was all but gone. What we saw in those brief flashes instead was piercing terror in its rawest form.
Okay. We've got 2 paragraphs left. We technically have 7 paragraphs left, but
we have 30 paragraphs left in the form of 2 paragraphs. Mm-hmm.
Dozens of the things which had been hidden by the dark now towered over our car. Oh no, it is just a bunch of siren heads around the car.
It's gonna bukkake them.
Uh-huh. All around us
are familiar sirens.
Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a siren head.
God damn it.
And even though we still couldn't quite see, we knew they were looking right down at us, waiting. The sirens began howling once again, and the sound this time was deafening. Though the noise we could see, through the noise we could see John mouthing something to us, but we couldn't make it out with the sirens blaring overhead.
I'm not afraid of you anymore.
I'm not afraid of you.
Guys, I should tell you now before we die. I'm a goof.
I peed on myself so they can't catch my scent.
Yeah. Wait,
John, you're an idiot. You got that backwards. He held up his hand and began counting down from 5. When it reached 1, he bolted out the car. Okay. The rest of us followed his lead without hesitation. We didn't know where to go. We only knew these things were lumbering towards us, and we had to stay close together. I probably want to split up, actually, but over there, Trev shouted through the rain. He was
Thank you, fucking Fred from Scooby-Doo. Let's split up, gang.
All right, gang. Who's the real Sirenhead? Trev shouted through the rain. He was pointing to a barn we could barely make out in the dark. The sirens were getting closer and closer. We could feel the vibration of their massive forms moving through the dark behind us. We had finally reached the barn, and with our combined weight, we smashed through whatever lock they might have had on the barn doors. Shit, man! I just wanted this to be over already, John pronounced to the group. Catching our breath, we nodded our heads in agreement. Wait, where's Trev? I asked.
Peeing.
He's out peeing on himself again. We looked around frantically for a moment. Maybe he took a wrong turn, Romero remarked. Oh, God, Romero remarked. Mm-hmm. His normal light-hearted mantilty?
Mantilty?
His normal light-hearted mantilty, now all but gone. Is this a word?
Mentality.
Mentality. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
By the way, I do like the idea of the Scooby-Doo gang pulling off Sirenhead's mask and he's Slenderman. He's like, I wanted to be relevant again.
Everyone forgot about me. I'm just shit with Jeff the Killer.
Why does Slenderman have a voice that's kind of like Fat Albert adjacent?
Man, I just wanted to be relevant again. I'm Slenderman. I would walk up People thought I came up all silent, but really I was really loud. I'd be like, hey, kids!
Fat Albert is the polar opposite from Slender Man. That's what this
true.
makes sense about this.
That's true.
Yeah, because Slender Man is white and Fat Albert's black.
Yeah, totally. We need to go look for him, John stated. Romero shook his head no. If he didn't make it here, then he must have found somewhere better to hide. No, he's probably dead. I added, he would have told us if that was the case, right? John asked. Realizing quickly it's Trev we're talking about, John dismisses his own question. He looked around the barn for a bit before settling in for what we felt would be a long wait. The sirens continued through the night, some close, some far. They never attempted to get in, and we eventually passed out from exhaustion.
If this ends with them going outside and seeing one additional Sirenhead that's wearing Trev's t-shirt, that would be awesome.
Finger. When the first rays of sunlight started seeping through the cracks of the barn and waking up, we decided now was a good time as any to leave. Outside the barn, we could see clear skies and a bright Texas sun, but everywhere else looked like chaos. Fallen trees, smashed and tossed cars, even giant crates of upturned earth.
Nope.
Craters of upturned earth. Ugh.
Get your upturned earth here at Bobby's Upturned Earth Hut. We got it by the crate.
Crates full of stuff.
Yeah.
The three of us looked at each other with an expression of relief before the realization of Trev being gone came back. Crack! We all jumped back by the sudden noise, myself falling into mud in response. We turned to where the noise had originated, only to see a nearby outhouse door fly open with splintering wood.
All right, that's funny. Fuck it.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Trev in all his glories spilled out onto the ground from within. Romero couldn't help but
Shrek
laugh.
just comes out.
Somebody!
Sirenhead just... Anyway.
Seriously, Trev, John remarks. Had to make a stop. Door got stuck when I slipped inside. Whatever, I don't want to talk about it. Trev answers while brushing himself off and making zero eye contact. Last paragraph.
Everyone just turns and looks at Trev with their hands on their hips and like tilting their head. Trev!
Oh.
I'm just Trev!
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Zoom in on Trev's face. We wouldn't have to wait much longer for the police, firemen, and even a few reporters to show up. The official story we were told is a tornado touchdown, which I was anticipating. I thought that was what they were going to say. And I think that's a good choice. And whipped up all the cars and basically caused a big mess. We know what we saw, though. We know the experience and terror we lived through. Even though we never did get a good look at them, I think all in all that might have been for the best. God only knows what kind of head would be on a thing making that awful sound. Maybe some sort of siren head. Guys! Romero begins looking around frantically. What is it, man? John asked, concerned. I don't... Romero continued looking around the field in a panic. I don't remember where we left the car.
Dude, where's my car?
Where's my car?
Everyone jumps in the air, freeze frame, high fives.
I take it back. A 12-year-old did not write this.
The ending, I figured it wasn't going to be the case after the first paragraph.
Yeah.
But like, the ending literally should just be like, dude, where's my car?
There is a great...
If you're going to do it, do it.
Right,
Don't be a coward.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know that movie. Maybe this is somebody who's not 12 years old, but still is young enough to not know what dude, where's my car is.
The paragraphs lend themselves to a young writer, but still, can anyone say that we didn't enjoy this story?
No, it was good.
And actually, not showing the head makes it so you could always just say, they weren't really siren heads.
And even if it is Siren
it's something
Head,
else.
this isn't so self-indulgent that it's making up needless new lore. It was Texas. It was dark. There was a bunch of siren heads. They were screaming and they were throwing cars. That's it. It's kind of still true to the spirit of, Siren Head has a little bit of mystery about him.
These could have been just regular old Texas giants, just normal Texas giants that you see every day. But one of them or two of them had police cars stuck in their teeth, I mean, that was what the sirens was.
Those are often confused with siren heads. These are just Texas Twister loudmouths.
Oh, you know what it was? Those are just Texans, because everything's bigger in Texas. They're just residents. Yeah.
We don't got siren heads here. We got loudmouths.
Mm-hmm. Somebody double draw loudmouth the Texan siren head. He's got to wear overalls.
Oh boy.
Gigantic overalls.
Could it just be Sirenhead in overalls?
Yeah. And the stalk of wheat in one of his sirens.
25 weeks from now, it's going to be a very nice surprise with double draws.
But overall, our first excursion to Iconpasta took us to Texas and on a nice little road trip. Road trips are always fun unless they're Arizona, because that is so awful.
Stay tuned to the Fear Fiction Podcast, where the next few episodes will have Dagon takes a road trip to Texas.
I took a very long road trip through Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico. Arizona technically first, and Arizona was the best part, so gonna have to disagree.
No, the Creepypasta Arizona.
Oh, that one too, yeah. No, for sure.
No, it sucked. If you guys are wondering, just for people want, we're saying that they like Dagon. So Dagon will be back at some point, but in the future. But I can say confidently that we enjoyed Iconpasta. Maybe this is indicative of the quality of story put here. Maybe some grammar problems, but a solid structure nonetheless that we enjoyed.
I think everybody should go and like, comment, and subscribe to r/Iconpasta on Reddit.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Hey guys, I know we talk about Overwatch a lot on the Fear Fiction Podcast, and most of you are probably completely lost when we start making Overwatch references. So I figured it might be somewhat helpful to our listeners if Abysmii, Slimebeast, and myself kind of walk you through what Overwatch is and how it's played, now at least. And we'll be doing this as a sort of audio let's play. So we're going to be playing a round of competitive Overwatch while you listen and learn.
Select your hero.
Okay, guys, let's join team chat.
Oh, great. Only 4 of us are in voice.
And that's a loss.
Okay, gang, we're on attack on Paris. What are we thinking in terms of a gameplay?
Fuck off, Squeaker.
Go play in traffic.
I'm gonna go Winston. Let's dive. Someone should be Lucio and boost us at the gate.
I'm going to be Doomfist.
I wanted to be Doomfist.
Listen, we all wanted to be Doomfist. Abysmii, maybe go Genji.
Oh, yeah, I've never played him.
Well, you might want to pick a hero you played.
Gay. Mega gay.
Hey, look at my Mercy skin.
Fuck, that's dope.
I didn't know they had a Catholic schoolgirl skin for Mercy. Man, it's been so long since I've played.
How long has it been since you played?
Did somebody hear a mouse farting, or is a shitty little child trying to speak to us?
How does Doomfist do that thing?
What thing?
The thing, fisty boom boom into the wall?
Battle Mercy!
Please don't battle Mercy!
Genji is Hanzo's father, right?
Right.
Okay, not gonna lie, that's epic.
Alright, guys, we can do this. Stay positive and don't give up.
5.
You all seem like really good players, and even if we lose, that's okay.
Go back to Fortnite.
Anyone else get the feeling this little kid's going to game throw?
Yep. Look, he's walking towards the objective. That's where the enemies are, and now he's dead.
We're all reporting him, right?
Yeah, let's just sit and spawn. Fuck this.
Defeat.
Geki Taikoku Kagakidan, or Attack Imperial Assault Force by Chisa Yokohama, and the Taikoku Kakikidan is the opening to an anime called Sakura Taisen.
Okay, can I just... Sakura Taisen?
Now listen, yes, Sakura Taisen.
Hold on. Sorry. Sakura Taisen is like, you know, this is ridiculous. I'm card captain. It's ridiculous. Is that right?
So it's an anime about, you know, mechs and shit, but the cool thing about it is the song is a genre of music called enka, which is Japanese folk music, and it's kind of like propaganda, and so it really makes you want to bomb Pearl Harbor.
Ooh. I was gonna say, at the beginning of this, I was gonna say, DP, it's just racist to just start a plug by just saying Kikeko Kikuke, Kaikako Keiko. I was like, that's not anything really. Why are you doing this?
This is literally what it is. Listen.
I'm going to need you to link this in chat because I'm not going to ask you to re-say all that so I can attempt to spell it correctly.
You want to go to kukakokikeiko.com/
Bukake.com. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, what happens if I do that? Okay.
Bukake.com.
Bukake.com.
Bukake.org is what you want.
Oh! Bukake.com is pretty much free. The domain bukake.com may be for sale.
Jesus,
Ooh.
people. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Pornhub's the thing. No one's going to go to bukake.com. What am I talking about?
Well, people are going to go to bukake.com right now because they're curious.
See a blank-ass page.
It's a blank-ass page. It's hilarious.
What color is the page? White?
You know what? We could make a bukake.com into like a nice, wholesome, just like Christian youth group thing.
Or we could just make it linked to Fearfic.
We could. Slimebeast, you're a domain guy. Inquire about how much it would cost. Acquire bukake.com.
They're going to be asking for at least $10,000, and that's a low estimate.
No, they start off and they're just like, how about $10? Oh yeah, sold. $100, and they just keep adding on zeros. Here's another zero. Oh, here's another zero.
We need 10 payments of $1,000 all at once. Interface.
We need 10 payments of $1,000 about 30 seconds apart from each other.
From multiple PayPal accounts. So this is an ad for bukake.com. This plug. Yeah.
You're welcome, domain owner.
This is why we bombed Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor was just one big bukake.
Kind of.
Got the plug already.